Okay. So,
Okay. Can you hear me right now?
yes, I can hear you well. What about you?
It's better. It's better than on other days.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. I tried to. I stole my the headset of my son.
Okay. That's better to hear. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good. And so, uh, how was your day today? Were you working today or you were off today again?
No, no. I had a class as a student
Okay.
today and tomorrow. I needed to watch class till 6 o'clock, and tomorrow I will do the same. Then after that, I need to send some emails and write some documents. Then I took 30 minutes to study a little bit more here. And during the class, I took some time when I was texting you, was a texting with you. I was study uh, in silence, you know.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, good. So, well, let's start with pictures and then we go a little bit to part one and then part three. Okay.
Okay.
So, okay, so look at the picture and tell me what you can see and what is happening.
Okay. Okay, in this picture, I can see a military jet, and it's belong Blue Angels, Air Military Corporation, by U.S. Nav. I said it because I can see printed on the fuselage, the name printed on the fuselage, and then on the tail I can see a number 4 painted there, and the fuselage is black with some details in gold. And this aircraft is performing belly landing. Then I can see fire uh, behind this aircraft, between the belly and the runway. And it's a low wing aircraft. And probably no, there are two pilots there inside the cockpit. There are two places to pilot for a pilot there. In the foreground, I can see the cloudless skies. In the foreground, I can see a part of the grass, a dry grass. And near the cockpit, on the background, I can see some builds, I believe, and some trees. It's very difficult situation to be with, because when we need to perform this landing on this kind of this aircraft, you need to land with a high speed, and probably because of that, we can see a lot of flame out behind this aircraft. So it's a very danger.
Okay, that's what I can see in this picture. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, forget that.
Okay.
That's it. What I can see.
That's what I can see. Probably won't have time because they might interrupt you before that. Okay, it's just a precaution. Yeah, you
Okay.
might be interrupted and you don't have time to say the sentence. And what was happening before the picture was taken?
Okay. 1 minute, please. Very danger. Gosh, I did mistake every single time. It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. It's correct.
Mhm. Very dangerous. Yeah.
Very dangerous. Okay. Okay. Please. Could you repeat again, please?
What was happening before the picture was taken?
Okay, before this picture was taken, I believe that the pilot was tried to deploy the landing gear and flaps to perform a landing. Then he received a message by the computers that the landing gear was collapsed, and then the pilot needed to performing a go around and requests to fly over same area to try to avoid this problem with appropriate checklist, but he couldn't. And then he requested the controller to perform a better landing at this time.
Okay. And what will happen next?
Next, the pilot the pilot will try to stop this aircraft over the runway, and we request the firefighters as soon as possible to extinguish the fire. And probably the pilot will get out of there. And as the guys there are the military guys, probably they will need to talk with a boss to explain what happened during this emergency landing.
Okay.
We explain what
You
happened.
explain what happened.
What happened? Happened.
Okay. And what do you think about sorry. And do you think that yeah, to what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? Yes, aerobatic demonstration should not be permitted for the sole purpose of entertainment.
Sorry, could you clarify for me, please?
Yes, aerobatic demonstration shouldn't be permitted just for entertainment.
I agree completely. Because the pilots that have having training to perform aerobatic flights, they are so capable to perform these flights as well. And I believe that there is no risks with the demonstration flight as acrobatic flights.
Okay. So, okay, your performance was better, so you could speak fast and with, you know, just fewer mistakes, so nothing serious here. So we see here dangerous, it's dangerous, no, it's very dangerous, it's very dangerous. And also buildings, okay, pronunciation. I see many builds, no, many buildings, yeah, many buildings. Yeah. But the rest was okay, yeah, the rest was okay, it was fine, it would be level 4, so it was fine. Okay.
There are many buildings.
There are many buildings. Okay. Okay, so that's it. Let's go to another picture.
Okay. In this picture, I can see a small jet, a twin jet with low wing jet, and this aircraft is stopped in some FBO area, And then this body is white and there is a line black along the fuselage. The airplane is parked there with shocks. And then there is a pilot and probably a flight attendant beside him, uh, stand up front of the door. The door is open and there is a carpet on the ground. Then finally, I can see the two ladies carrying the suitcase, and probably they are walking to the aircraft as a passenger. And then on the background, I can see the clear skies, and I don't know if there are buildings or hangars. I don't know exactly. Probably the FBO of the passengers there. And in the foreground, I can see only the part of the ground. Uh, the pilot is dressed with white t-shirt, and the flight attendants too. And the passengers is a black t-shirt and another one uh, with gray shirt. That's it. What I can say, about this picture.
And what was happening before the picture was taken?
Too late. I said it. Too late.
Okay. Here, let me show you. What it just pronounces this. This.
Late. Okay.
So how do you pronounce the other one?
Late.
So how do you pronounce this?
Emergency.
And
okay, and that late.
Late is this. This.
I don't know.
What's the difference between this and this?
Ladies and ladies.
You pronounce the same.
I can omit the S on the ends.
No.
No.
How do you pronounce this?
Dishka.
Okay. How do you pronounce the word before?
Ladies.
Ladies. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to draw your attention.
Yeah,
so
ladies.
Yeah, not ladies. Yeah, ladies.
Yes, I say that way when I'm speaking in the aircraft, you know.
Yeah. So ladies, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Yeah.
My name is Muslim, the first of I said it every time, but now I said it wrong.
Yeah.
Ladies.
It's like, for example, when saying I drink some coffee. Drink some coffee is this, and then I drink some coffee. Yeah, coffee. Then it's okay, coffee. Yeah.
Two ladies. Okay.
Great. So let's let me ask you what was happening.
What's happened before? Okay. Yeah. Before this picture was taken, probably the captain was checking the flight plan to perform this flight, to perform this flight, and probably the captain called to the flight attendants to call her to perform this flight with him, and then the pilot called to the maintenance staff to tow this aircraft to this position in front of the FBO to receive these two ladies to embark them, and finally this picture was taken.
And what will happen next?
Next, the ladies will embark on these
ladies.
The ladies. The ladies and gentlemen, okay. The ladies will embark on this aircraft, and the pilot will go to the cockpit, and finally the flight attendant will close the door, and then the pilot will request a clearance to start the flight, and we will take off to fly until the destination.
To fly to their destination instead of until, to fly to their destination or to the destination.
To the destination. We will fly to destination. To the destination.
Yeah, great. And so what are the flight attendant's responsibilities when passengers are boarding?
There are several possibilities that can happen during embark or disembark procedure, and then mainly several, that's right?
Yeah.
Several possibilities that can happen during the embark and disembark procedures, but mainly the flight attendants use many.
Yeah, continue, no problem.
Okay. Use many to avoid problem. Okay. There are many possibilities. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. There are many possibilities that agora esqueci. Não sei nem qual é a pergunta. What was the question?
Yes. What are the flight attendants' responsibilities when passengers are boarding?
Oh, there are a lot of possibilities during the embark and disembark procedures, and obviously the flight attendants, there are a lot of responsibilities during these procedures, such as check if every single passenger would be seated on the right seat, check if every single passengers fasten the seat belt, and finally the flight attendant needs to give the instruction for emergency procedures if it would be happen during the flight. What would be happen during the flight?
Okay.
What would happen during the flight?
Yeah, all the procedures that happen during the flight is, or that you mean que aconteceria.
Could.
That could happen. Yeah, that could happen. Que poderia acontecer. That could happen during the flight. Yeah. Okay, so would happen is strange, so that could happen during the flight. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Every single passenger, without S, every single passenger. And to what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? So there are many risks for passengers during the boarding procedure.
Sorry, could you repeat? I couldn't understand.
Yeah.
Right.
To what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? There are many risks for passengers during the boarding procedure.
I agree completely. Mainly about security during these procedures. It's very, very important to check every single passengers that are coming in the aircraft, and check the suitcase, for example, and if there is some danger good with them, and suitcase, okay, with them, and it's very, very important to pay attention about this.
Okay, pay attention to this. If there are some dangerous goods with them, okay? Here you use some because you're using goods and it's plural, it's always in the plural. But remember, if it was something in singular, you're not going to use some, you're going to use a and the other and or and an, for example, an orange, an apple, a car, etc. So Be careful with the use of some.
A danger good or some dangers
Yeah,
good.
in this case, it's always going to be some because goods are always in the plural.
Yes.
So then it's always going to be dangerous goods. That's if you want to say one, it's going to be a dangerous good item.
Okay.
So because it's dangerous goods here, it's always goods is uncountable. It's always with S. So,
Yes.
but if you want to transform into singular, just one, you need to say a dangerous good item. So some dangerous goods, a dangerous good item. If the passengers are carrying a dangerous good item, it means né? But if the passengers are carrying some dangerous goods with them, and then always some and plural. There is no a dangerous good. It's always going to be a dangerous good item. Suitcase pronunciation, suit is not sweet, sweet, is suit, suit.
Okay.
The E in the middle, the E sound disappears. It's suit, suitcase. Yeah.
Suitcase, no
Suit,
suitcase.
suitcase. Yeah.
Suit.
Suitcase. Yeah.
Suit.
Suitcase. Yes. Yeah. And the pronunciation is several. But if you don't remember choices, decisões.
Okay.
Don't know how to pronounce, change the thinking, change your thought. Okay, I'm thinking about vários. Change, use a synonym. Muitos. It's easier to say. It's the same thing. So many decisions.
Yes, the several.
Several. Yeah, several. Like this. Several.
Yes.
Yes.
Several.
Think about a place in.
Several possibilities.
Yes.
Several possibilities.
Yes. Think about a place in Minas Gerais. Qual the place in Minas Gerais called Lavras. Lavras. Então, Lavras. Então, Lavras, several. Então, Lavra. So, several. Yeah.
Several.
Lavra, several. Okay.
Several.
Yeah. Several. So, suitcase, several. Pay attention to this. And that could happen during the flight. Very good. Now, let's go to some questions in part 1. Part 4, I think it was much better, okay? So keep studying and doing that. It's much better. I think your voice was loud, yeah, was loud and clear. And I could hear the mistakes and I could hear the good things too. So that was loud and clear.
I believe it that I believe that my microphone was so bad for you on another time that we had a class. Now
I think it was.
I stole the headset of my son that he
don't give it back.
Yeah.
Don't give it back.
Then I believe that now you can listen better the word like
you pay the bills at home, you give him food.
Worse and worst. I believe that you can heard it better right now.
Yes, you give him food, so tell him to accept. Okay.
Yes, I am making a trouble for him to play video games, and it will be better for him.
Yes. So let's go to part 1. What's the difference between VFR and IFR?
The difference between VFR and IFR, mainly for us as pilots, is the way that you need to fly some aircraft. Okay, to begin with, I need to say that there is a difference between the weather conditions. You know, when you are flying, when you is very, very bad. No, when the pilot needs to fly under IFR conditions, probably the pilot can't see anything outside of the aircraft. And then because of that, the pilot needs to fly with the instruments in front of him. On the other hand, the VFR is completely different than IFR because the weather condition will be so good and the pilot can see everything in front of him. And probably the pilot the pilot can choose if we'll fly looking to the instruments or looking for the outside with visual reference. And I believe that there is that I believe that it's about the mainly difference between IFR and VFR conditions, different from instruments. Instruments are okay. So I believe
Yes,
this is
yes, instruments, true, instruments. Yeah.
instruments.
Yeah, I believe this is the main difference. Yeah, I believe this is the main difference. That's what you should have said in the end. I believe this is the main difference. Great, instruments. And different from, okay, when you use different, the preposition is not different to or different by or different, it's different from. Always different from. Okay. Okay.
Different from go to the side. Different from.
Okay. Different from. Okay. And what situation or situations, yes, are not possible to perform in the simulator, in your opinion?
1 minute, please.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, let's go. I was taking notes about
Okay.
that.
In
Different.
what situation or situations are not possible to perform in the simulator?
Oh, mainly the lanes. The lanes. It's very different to perform training of laning in the simulator, because in the simulator, sorry, correcting. To begin with, I need to say that the simulators are so realistic, so realistic, realistic,
No. Realistic. Yeah.
realistic, realistic,
Realistic. Yeah. Realistic.
List. Okay. Okay. To begin with, I need to say that the simulators are so realistic, and but on the other hand, there is one maneuver that we can't train right in the simulator, and this maneuver is a landing. Can't train, yes, can't train. Finalmente não existe, né? Can't train. Okay, let me start again. Okay, to begin with, I need to say that the simulators are so realistic, and but on the other hand, to train landings in the simulator is so difficult, because there is a difference between a real flight and simulator when you perform a landing. And consequently, I believe that is the onco is the there is the only possible that we can train in the simulator. And if you can say another maneuver about that, you can say that we can't train ditching as well.
Okay. You cannot train ditching. Okay.
Posso repetir isso de novo? Você
Yeah.
pode perguntar? Vamos ver se eu consigo organizar.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So what situation or situations are not possible to perform in the simulator?
Okay. From my standpoint, I believe that, no, I believe that, no, I believe, I
Yeah,
guess,
I believe that's okay.
okay, okay, I guess.
Remember, you cannot say I believe that in the end of a sentence without continuation. But I
Yes.
believe that exists if you continue. Eu acredito que, tanana, e continua. But then you cannot say, for example, tanana, tanana, I believe that.
Yeah, I'm avoiding to say this word because
Yeah,
if I say
because you were saying
problem,
using it incorrectly,
yeah.
because you're using in the end, but in the middle of the sentence there is a continuation. It's normal. It's totally
Okay.
correct. Okay, I believe that. Tanana, tanana, no problem.
Okay. Uh, okay. To begin with, no. From my standpoint, I guess that the learnings it's impossible to train in the simulators. On the other hand, I need to say that the simulators are so realistic, but the lanes is very difficult to train in the simulators. There is a difference from real flight and simulator when you are performing a landing. And because of that, I believe that the landing in the simulators, there is no good experience to improve for us as pilots. And also the ditching. I believe that the both maneuvers in the simulator that there is no there is no efficiency to the training for us as a pilot as pilot.
Okay, I believe change, reformulate the sentence and change the way you thought and change positions of words and change the sentence. Eu falaria, eu acredito que essas duas manobras não são eficientes para treinar no simulador. Não, é o que você quis dizer, mas você deu voltas de uma forma que é mais complicado de dizer em inglês. É isso que eu teria feito. Na hora que você falou, já pensei em uma outra forma de dizer. Em português mesmo. Na parte. É isso que você tem que fazer. Enrolou, não é desistir apenas. Por que eu estou me enrolando? Porque você está indo para um lado mais complexo. Transforma em uma outra forma de pensar. I believe these two maneuvers are not efficient to practice in a simulator. Okay. But you need to improve this answer. I mean, in terms of organization,
Okay.
you need to improve that.
Okay, let me try again. Okay. To begin with, I need to say that the simulators are so realistic. But on the other hand, I believe that there are two maneuvers that we can train in the simulators, such as landings. On the other hand, no, another, yes, on the other hand, okay, such as landings and ditch. I said it because there are difference. There is a difference in the simulators and real between simulators and real flights. No, there is a difference from the simulators and real flights when you are performing a ditching or landings as well.
Okay. Here there is a difference between.
Okay.
Because there is a diferença entre. The other one is different from, diferente de. That's why it was from, porque era diferente de alguma coisa. So this is different from tal coisa, diferente de tal coisa. As I told you, entender o que as palavras significam. O que você está precisando aqui? Entre. Então é entre mesmo, é between. Você não quer o entre? É isso que eu tentei te dizer hoje por que eu uso between ou uso outro? O que você quer dizer? Quer dizer entre. E qual que significa entre? É o between ou é o from? É o between. Então é o between que você quer.
Uhum.
Então essa resposta você já tem na sua cabeça. Então, é você saber o que as palavras significam. Se você sabe que você precisa de entre, e between é entre, é essa que você precisa. Se o outro é diferente de, aí você errou que você colocou to, tudo, né? Qual a preposição que você vai usar? O from. Para não confundir. E não confundir que o of também é de, né? Então, não é of, não é to, é from. Só isso, a diferença. So, there is a difference between. Great. So, it was much better. Okay? It was much better. See,
Se eu falar uma resposta tipo bem seca, assim, deixa eu ver, sei lá, I need to say that the simulators are so realistic, but on the other hand, there are two maneuvers that we can train in the simulator, such as lanes and beachings. That's it. Tá muito chuto?
No, it's okay. It was better. But remember, you can always go back and change your mind and do this and think about something else.
Não, por exemplo, eu sei, mas se eu falar só, porque, por exemplo, eu acho que agora eu não cometi nenhum erro.
Não.
Mas assim,
se eu falar do realistic. Você está falando realistic. Realistic. Não, é realistic. Tick. In the end, the tick tem que sair. Tick, tick, tack, tick, tack, tick, tack, tick. Tem que sair o tick. Se sair assim, tick, tick, não é o tick. Tick, 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 não é tick. É tick, tick. Realistic, realistic, tick.
Ok.
Não tem que ser realistic, realistic, realistic. Olha o meu tick saindo. É diferente de realistic, realistic, realistic. Yeah. Realistic.
Realistic.
Yeah. Realistic. Very good.
Realistic.
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 Okay. Realistic. So let's go to another question. Okay. And how does aviation contribute to an increase in environmental pollution?
How
does aviation contribute to an increase in environmental pollution?
The aviation contribute to improve the pollution around the world because the aviation is growing for the last 30 or 40 years until nowadays. Increase pollution. Okay. Contributes. How can I say it? Contributes.
Contributes. Contributes.
Yeah, it's better to forget it. The aviation increased pollution from the last 40 or 50 years ago until nowadays, mainly because aviation is growing, and on these times, every single year that we pass it, there were more flights around the world, and consequently, these aircraft burned more fuel and in the air, and it was so bad for the environmental, so bad to environmental, so bad to environment.
It's harmful or bad to the environment.
It was so bad.
No, and it's bad to the environment. Tá? Trazendo agora para o presente. How does aviation... So aviation has been increasing pollution in the last few years because aviation is growing. Yes, or aviation has been growing a lot. Use o present perfect continuous também. Aviation has been increasing pollution in the last few years because aviation has been growing. So the growth of aviation and increase of pollution go hand in hand. Então, estão lá juntos, né? Estão juntos e misturados, go hand in hand. So, or they are directly connected. Yeah, the growth of aviation and increase of pollution are directly related. And because now there are more airplanes, more flights, the big airplanes, they burn more fuel, but many planes flying, the pollution is inevitable, yeah, and it's harmful to the environment, it's harmful to people's health, yeah. There are consequences to our health, too. That's it, into nature, environment, etc. So, a questão de organização, depois pensar. É uma pergunta difícil, que ninguém responde muito bem, né? Mas que podem perguntar. Que perguntas de poluição, environment, também dá uma olhada, porque podem de repente perguntar alguma coisa. Então, ter vocabulário pronto. CO2, carbon dioxide, dióxido de carbono, carbon dioxide, CO2, greenhouse gases, greenhouse effect, global warming, environmental problems, environmentally friendly equipment, planes, engines, fuel efficient, yes, some engines in the future will be more fuel efficient. Pode até dar uma solução no futuro que pode. Então, isso, separar vocabulário próprio de temas como esse. Então,
posso tentar mais uma vez? Essa aí?
Yes.
Okay. Pergunta lá para mim, que eu não sei, não é mais como que é a pergunta.
Okay, so
Contributes.
How does aviation contribute to an increase in environmental pollution?
Oh, certainly the aviation increased the pollution around the world, mainly because the aviation has been increasing the pollution in the last few years, because the aviation are increasing from the last 40 or 50 years ago.
If you're going to use this, then you have to use present perfect continuous again.
Okay.
Você usou presente, depois usou a go. Aí ferrou com a gramática. Então,
não, mas the aviation,
because aviation is growing a lot.
Growing.
Pronto, acabou. E acabou. Aviation is growing a lot. Se você for falar from tanana, é present perfect continuous, because aviation has been growing from for the last 45 years, for the last 30 years, é present perfect continuous again.
Okay, let me start again. Okay, certainly the aviation is increasing the pollution around the world, mainly because the aviation has been increasing from the last 20 or 30 years ago, and consequently, every single year that we pass it, there are more flights around the road, and consequently, there are more airplanes burning fuel in the environment, and consequently, it causes some problems and contribute to prejudice the greenhouse gas, I don't know.
And it contributes to harm, or it contributes, or it can harm the greenhouse effect.
Vou ter que treinar mais essa resposta.
Yeah, yes. This one you need to stop and think. Yeah, it's not so easy. Or if you want to write, you write and send me.
In Portuguese, it's difficult to answer something like that.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, so let's go now to part 3 a little bit. Yeah. So part 3. Hmm. Okay. Second. Okay, situation number 1.
Cleveland Center, we have a possible bomb threat. One of our flight attendants saw the passengers doing something suspicious at the toilet. It barricaded himself in there. The passenger said not to bother him, or we are all going to die. We request to divert to Buffalo, Brickyard 123.
Brickyard 123, roger. In this case, I'll also notify Buffalo to prepare police assistance upon your arrival. Clear direct Buffalo International and maintain flight level 230.
Cleveland Center, we have a possible bomb threat. One of our flight attendants saw the passengers doing something suspicious at the toilet. It barricaded himself in there. The passenger said not to bother him, or we are all going to die. We request to divert to Buffalo, Brickyard 123.
Brickyard 123, roger. In this case, I'll also notify Buffalo to prepare police assistance upon your arrival. Clear direct Buffalo International and maintain flight level 230.
Okay.
Okay. The pilot contact the controller to inform them that the pilot had a bomb threat on this flight. The pilot told the controller that the flight attendants told him that there was a passenger suspect on board in the toilet. And then the controller informed the pilot that the controller would advise the Buffalo authorities to request a police assistance upon arrival. And finally, the controller told the pilot to maintain flight level 320 and fly direct to Buffalo International Airport.
Okay. Yeah, just in the middle that you missed some more information about the guy in the toilet. So they informed that there was a suspicious passenger in the toilet, but they said a passenger doing something suspicious, which is the same, a suspicious passenger in the toilet. If you use suspect, then you cannot use passenger, because suspect é o substantivo, o suspeito, the suspect. Se você colocar o suspicious, você tem que colocar o passageiro. Então, se você colocar o suspect, você não pode colocar o passenger. O suspect tem que vir sozinho. There was a suspect in the toilet. There was a suspicious passenger. Se eu usar o passenger, tem que usar o adjetivo. Suspicious passenger in the toilet, and he barricaded himself in there. Ele fez uma barricada dele lá dentro, não queria sair. Então, isso é irrelevante, eu acho, assim. É apenas uma informação extra. Barricade himself in there.
Ainda bem que é relevante, porque eu não conseguia entender no áudio o que era. Eu omiti a informação, mas eu não estava entendendo. E ele falava, e depois ele ameaçava que se saísse lá, ele ia morrer, não é isso que ele falou?
Não, que todo mundo poderia morrer.
Queria todo mundo ia matar.
Se incomodasse ele. Yes.
Go to die.
Ele deveria estar fazendo aquilo que adolescente faz com revista pornô no banheiro. Aí não queria ser incomodado, então ele ia matar todo mundo.
Or suspicious only.
And the passenger said not to bother him, or otherwise, caso contrário, otherwise, everybody would die.
Essa era uma das mensagens que eu tinha escutado já, eu não estava conseguindo entender. Eu não sei se vai dar trabalho. Você tem como escrever para mim ela?
Yeah.
principalmente essa parte, que ele tava dentro do toalete. O resto eu peguei tudo, é só dentro do toalete até a parte que ele diz que vai todo mundo morrer.
Yeah.
Eu entendo algumas palavras, outras eu não consigo entender tudo no meio da frase.
Okay, so okay, here.
Se você quiser escrever depois, não sei.
Yeah.
Desculpa o trabalho. Ah, você tem aí já. Ah, perfeito. Person flight attendant said the passenger is doing something suspicious at the toilet. He bagged himself. Tá, qual esse áudio mesmo? Acho que é o 10, né? É o 10 esse?
10, yeah. Number
Ah.
10.
Eu me lembro. Desculpa, eu coloquei o 10 só para me lembrar quando eu for ver para puxar lá o áudio. Tá bom, vamos lá, desculpa.
Yes, and that's it. So, but the rest was okay. Yeah. Só uma parte que você poderia ter enxutado aqui para não ficar aquele negócio de the pilot told the controller that the flight attendant told him. Aí ficou aquele monte de todo fulano, que todo ciclano, para evitar esse tipo de... Tava certinho, mas ficou tão longo que você sabe, né? Se ficar nervoso na prova, isso já era. Então, para evitar essas coisinhas.
Para dizer que falou, que disse que tinha uma boa ameaça de bomba a bordo.
Isso, você fez certinho, mas eu tô pensando assim, cenário que você estiver nervoso e falando uma frase dessa longa. Pronto, aí você já se atrapalha. Então, tira essas coisas muito... sabe, pessoa que vai contar uma história, em vez de logo direto ao assunto, já fica dando voltas, não dá voltas, vai direto ao assunto. So, the pilot informed the controller there was a possible bomb threat, and there was, não precisa nem dizer, the flight attendant said, não precisa nem dizer, and the bomb threat because there was a suspicious passenger in the toilet. And doing or there was a passenger in the toilet doing something suspicious, or there was a suspicious passenger in the toilet. E se você não pegou barricaded, não fala, mas você poderia dizer he barricaded himself in there and informed that that he would kill everybody would die if he was bothered, or if somebody bothers him. And
the pilot informed the controller that the flight attendants informed him that
informed, not was informed. Informed.
Yes, was informed. Was informed there was a suspicion.
Sim, was informed. The flight attendants informed. Ou você quer dizer que as flight attendants foram informadas?
Que foram informados.
Okay, yeah, okay. The flight attendants were informed. Tá certo.
That there was a suspicious passengers on board. With bomb threat. Then the controller told the pilot to maintain flight level 320 and fly direct to Buffalo International Airport. And finally, the controller informed the pilot that the police assistance would be provided upon arrival.
Exactly. Yeah. So, redondinho. That's the way you should do it. And question for you. Let me see here.
O Vladimir, já tá no horário, tá? Não quero ficar por mim tá tranquilo, vou até, não tem problema nenhum.
Não, a gente faz essa pergunta aqui, depois a gente termina daqui a pouco já.
Tá.
How airport security has changed in the last 10 years?
Saiu da parte 3, né? Então voltou, né? Tá, peraí. Eu estava preparado para anotar aqui. Qual foi a pergunta? Desculpa.
Yes. How airport security has changed in the last 10 years?
The airport security changed in the last 10 years a lot, mainly after 11 September. The airport authorities and the airport authorities changed a lot of rules to proceed, embark and disembark of the passengers around the road. It's very, very remarkable date when this event happened because they need to check new ways to find suspicious passengers to avoid bomb threats on board as well. It was remarkable.
Yeah, it was a remarkable date. Yeah.
September the 11th.
September the 11th. It's better to say like that, September the 11th. It was a remarkable day. They changed many procedures. They improved the procedures. They improved the security systems. Yes, etc. So that's it. All right. So we're going to stop here. Okay. So as you can see, it's improving. Keep going. Don't give up. And until the last day, you need to be still studying and checking and improving.
Yes,
Okay.
I am a little bit worried about my tasks, mainly because next week it will be hard for me. I will have 3 sessions in the simulators, and I will do the check ride one day before on Friday to go to take my IQ test there, but I try.
No problem. Keep studying, and then if the last 3 days you don't study that much, but at least keep the IQ test in mind too.
I
Yeah.
I think that I will improve in the both one,
Yes, if you fail the simulator, no problem, because then you can do it later and then pass the IQ test, and then you do
it will be
the simulator later. Yeah.
it will be a shame for me, I can't do it.
Uhum. Você tem que passar o que você reprovou primeiro. Então, o simulador, como você ainda não reprovou, você espera reprovar para depois fazer de novo. E faz as coisas assim 2
I
vezes,
can
entendeu?
how can I explain something like that? I am a flight instructor there, and then, hey, you fail in simulator, and you are here give me class about this.
Isso é
Não.
feio. Mas quem mandou você trocar de profissão? Você era um empresário, você tinha uma empresa. Quem mandou complicar a sua vida? Você quis desafios? Tá aí.
As I thought that I will find my happiness here, but I was wrong.
Uhum. Ok. E você tinha mais dinheiro antes? Você ganhava mais com a empresa? Ou não?
Yes, for sure.
Então você foi, vamos dizer assim, sonhador.
Yes, I was stressed, and I came at time in my life that I was looking for something that could be make me happy when I perform my job,
Não, mas você tem que pensar nisso aos 60, aí sim.
Oh, really?
Não antes dos 40, dos 40 não. Dos 40 a realidade é dura mesmo. Então você deve ter pensado
Yes,
nos 60, aí sim, esse tananã.
Nowadays, if I can get there, and if I keep thinking, I will be happy.
Yes. Okay. So see you tomorrow at 10 again. Okay.
Thank you so much. Tomorrow I will have class all day, during the whole day, but I believe that I will study in silence
Okay.
tomorrow. And if I'm getting doubled, I will send message for you.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
So thank you. Bye bye. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.